Pull up any of a dozen accounts on YouTube or TikTok right now and you'll find someone healing people on the street. They stop a stranger, they ask what hurts, they pray, they tell the person the pain is gone, they film their reaction, they own the edit. It looks spontaneous, but it really isn't. What you're watching is a template, and it's much older than social media. Where this comes from, I'm going to focus on Kathryn Kuhlman. Kathryn Kuhlman didn't invent faith healing. She came from a long line of healers stretching back through American revivalism and further. But in her day, primarily in the 1960s and 70s, she was God. She's as good as they got. She was intelligent, theatrically gifted, and genuinely compelling. She filled auditoriums, she moved people, and she left something behind: a method, a way of running a healing encounter that has been handed down, simplified, and is now running on smartphones, in shopping malls. Benny Hinn inherited it directly. He even said so himself. Bethel institutionalized it, Bethel Church up in Redding, California. The street healers democratized it. The further you get from Kuhlman, the cruder the craft gets, but the very basics are identical. I know this because I spent a significant amount of time doing something almost nobody does. I watched Kuhlman services carefully on video, and I logged what I saw. I also have a personal reason for this interest. In 1975, I was on her stage. I had a car accident, and that's a story for another time. But it's why I wanted to understand what was actually happening in those services, not just what it felt like to be in one. All right, for several complete services from different years and different cities, I coded every healing encounter, 6 categories: the stated condition, whether pain was mentioned, whether a prop was present, wheelchair, cane, brace, what demonstration Kuhlman required, whether the person was slain in the spirit, and how long she spent with each person. I did that in seconds. I was looking for patterns. And here's what the patterns look like. Pain dominates. Sometimes a she stated diagnosis is serious: cancer, multiple sclerosis, heart disease. But listen carefully, and on stage, the test is almost always the same. Is the pain gone? She would ask over and over again. From a medical standpoint, pain is just a symptom. And it's a symptom most responsive to suggestion, expectation, adrenaline, and the charge of energy coming from the crowd. If you're building a ministry around immediate visible result, pain is exactly where you go. That's what you aim for. But here's the detail that matters most, and it comes directly from my notes. Many times, not occasionally, but repeatedly, it wasn't the person reporting the hearing, it was Kuhlman. She would look at someone and ask, "No more pain?" It's a leading question, delivered at a high volume in front of thousands of people, with every social and emotional force in the room pushing toward one answer. There is no space to say, "Well, it's a little better. I'm not sure yet." There's barely room to breathe. She isn't receiving a report, she's issuing one. And this did not stay on stage with her. Watch the street healers working today, and you'll hear the same question asked with the same authority. Where's the pain? Is it gone now? Check it. The tone is a command more than an inquiry. The person being prayed for is not being asked to give an honest report. They're being led firmly and publicly toward a predetermined answer. Kuhlman did it with an auditorium and an orchestra behind her. The street healer does it with a phone, small crowd of strangers. The mechanism really is identical.
Oh, so your work hurt and it hurts right now? Okay, watch. I command that pain to go right now in Jesus' name. Be healed. All right, now do this.
Do you have any pain in your body?
My right elbow.
Your right elbow?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna pray for you. Jesus is gonna heal you.
Okay.
Out of hundreds of healing encounters I watched, one moment stayed with me above everything else. It's the clearest thing in all of my notes. A man came forward with flat feet. Flat feet are structural. There is no arch, and no amount of suggestion, adrenaline, or crowd energy will rebuild a foot if it's flat. He was on stage for over 2 minutes, longer than most anyone else in that service. And the reason he stayed on so long is telling. He was excited, genuinely, openly thrilled. He wasn't resistant. He wasn't doubtful. He wanted to be there. He was so excited.
What is this? Did you ever go to church like this in your life? Here comes a man walking up with no shoes.
I don't seem to have an arch at all, but they feel different. I used to train quite a bit for track and field, and I had a lot of trouble
Where are your
with them.
shoes?
Well, I was trying out my feet, and
He was.
You know, he came all the way from Canada, Miss Kuhlman.
Are you a Canadian?
yes, I was.
God loves you Canadians, believe me. I've learned that a long time ago. And you mean you have been flat-footed?
Yeah. Well, I still don't seem to have an arch, but there's no. They feel different. I've had. They've given me a fair amount of pain in the past, and.
All right, you know what you do? Run down there. You see the step? All right, run. Go on. Down there.
There he goes.
Come on. Did you see him running? Is there...
I think he could run for track.
The run, but when I ran without shoes before, they
Yeah.
didn't feel right. They felt perfect that time.
So, it's altogether different now.
You know, like normally when I run, they feel weak. That is without shoes, and they don't feel weak now.
Dear Jesus, thanks is all we can say. Just thanks. There's nothing more to be said. That's the Lord. And you weren't even expecting this, were you?
Well, I wasn't thinking of my feet. I was thinking more of my eyes because they give me more trouble than my feet do.
Dear Lord, throw the eyes in for good measure. Just throw these eyes in for good measure, I pray. As the power of God perfects this healing from the top of his head to the soles of his feet. Thanks and thanks. That's right. Touch these eyes. Touch these eyes.
But here's what he said on stage into the microphone. My foot, it's still flat, but it feels different. This was the evidence of his healing. The feeling had changed. And for him, in that moment, that was enough. Kuhlman's response was simply to ask where his shoes were. One question, and the crowd moved with her. Shoes like wheelchairs and canes and props, visible objects that can frame the moment as a miracle. We can't see a flat arch change, but we can see bare feet. The man's honest admission was successfully put behind her. For me, that case became a kind of a laboratory proof. It was the one time I could see beyond any doubt that my basic claim was true. Symptoms can change often temporarily, while the underlying structure of the disease does not. That video gave me visual confirmation of what medical follow-ups and placebo research also show. Powerful shifts in how we feel do not automatically equal structural healing. And here's something most people in the room did not know. Even the feeling wouldn't last. Symptoms relieved by suggestion, adrenaline, emotional intensity typically return within probably an hour or two once the person leaves the environment. So the flat-footed man goes home feeling different. By the time he gets there or shortly after, the feeling is gone too. The arch never changed. The relief didn't either. That gap between what a person feels in the moment and what actually is true in their body is a gap that nobody in these ministries are interested in measuring. Two more things the spreadsheet shows consistently. Props, wheelchairs, canes, back braces appear repeatedly. They function as a visual shorthand. You don't need a medical history when someone rises from a wheelchair. The image does the theological work instantly. In many of these cases, the person was not fully immobilized. They could already stand. They could already move with effort. But the staging transforms the modest adrenaline-assisted movement into a sign and a wonder. Time. Most encounters in my data ran under 90 seconds, many under a minute, some as short as 30 seconds. In that window, a person is expected to summarize a condition that they have lived with for years, receive a prayer, perform a physical demonstration, and declare themselves healed. The structure of the encounter excludes honest uncertainty. There is simply no room for it. This is not unique to Kuhlman. Watch Street Healers. The encounter is even shorter. The edit is tight. The demonstration is immediate, and the person doing the healing controls every frame of what you see. What follow-up actually found? We don't have to guess what happened to Kuhlman's people afterwards. Somebody already checked. Dr. William Nolan, a surgeon, attended one of her services and obtained permission to follow up with people who claimed healing. His book, Healing, A Doctor in the Search of a Miracle, is direct. Among those he was given permission to track, he found no verified cures of organic structural disease. And there was one case that needs to be named plainly. A woman with a spinal cancer had been wearing a back brace. At Kuhlman's direction, she removed it and walked across the stage. The following day, her spine collapsed. She died months later from her disease. The demonstration that looked like proof caused her physical harm. Fast forward 50 years, Global Medical Research Institute, an independent nonprofit of doctors and scientists, have worked in partnership with Bethel Church since 2017 to verify some of its healing claims using before and after medical records. As of 2022, when the report was given, GMRI reported that it had not yet documented or published a single medically verified miracle from Bethel, despite investigating many claimed healings there. Nolan checked Kuhlman, independent researchers checked Bethel, same result. The Street Healers have simplified the template. They've simplified it down to its bare minimum. No stage, no orchestra, no expensive production, just a phone, a stranger, and the same three moves that Kuhlman used in every service. Find something that hurts. Tell the person it's gone. Own the narrative. The wheelchair has become a pair of crutches. The auditorium has become a pedestrian mall. The slain in the spirit moment has become a shaky camera reaction shot. What has not changed? There is no follow-up. There's no mechanism for follow-up. The healer is already filming the next encounter. Kuhlman was the gold standard of this tradition, skilled, compelling, working at the height of the craft, and Nolan found no structural healings. So what should we expect from people running the same template on a phone with less training, less control, and an edit button? I'm not arguing that nothing real ever happens in these encounters. I'm not arguing that everyone involved is a fraud or an actor. I'm arguing, rather, that the structure from Kuhlman's auditorium to today's sidewalks is not designed to find the truth. It is designed to produce an experience. And it is very good at it. The flat-foot man was thrilled. His foot, however, was still flat. And within an hour or two, even the feeling was gone. The woman with spinal cancer walked across the stage a day after her spine collapsed. Bethel has had independent researchers embedded since 2017, working with medical records, not one miracle verified. What all of this asks of us is not cynicism. It's something harder and more useful than cynicism. It asks us to observe carefully. Ask what is actually happening, not just the moment and what it felt like. To follow up weeks later, months later, is important. And to tell the truth about what we find, even when it complicates the story we want to be true. The people who end up on these stages, on the sidewalks, they deserve that. And this is Ted.